Good morning, dear students. Hope you all are studying hard at home and enjoying the e-learning initiative of Cambridge International School, Dusua. I'm your accountancy teacher, Mr. Sunil Kumar. Today, we will learn one more topic of the chapter. But before begin with the topic, let's recapitulate what we have done in our previous lesson. Before starting the question, we have to recap the rules for debit and credit by both the approaches, that is traditional approach and modern approach. First, we will take traditional approach. According to the traditional approach, accounts are divided into personal account and impersonal account. In personal account, we will take a natural person, artificial person, a representative person. In natural person, these are the persons which is created by God. These are like Aman, Raman, Radha, Mukesh, etc. Artificial person. Artificial person means person which is created by law, and it can be any business. It's a small business or a large business. For example, Tata Industries, Reliance Industries, Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India, Cambridge International School, Chandigarh University, etc. are artificial persons. The representative persons, these are the persons which represents a group of person like outstanding expenses, accrued income, income received in advance, etc. Now, impersonal account, it covers two accounts, that is real account and nominal account. In real account, all the assets will be taken like tangible assets, intangible assets, fixed assets, current assets, etc. And nominal account, in nominal account we will take all expenses and losses, incomes and gains. This is the traditional approach. Rules for debit and credit by traditional approach are here below. Number 1, personal account. It covers all the persons, natural person, artificial person, and representative person. Rule for the personal account is debit the receiver, credit the giver. Second is a real account. It covers all the assets, whether it's intangible assets, tangible assets, current assets, or fixed assets. Few of the example of assets are land, building, cash, etc. The rule for the real account is debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Number 3, nominal account. Nominal account covers all expenses, losses, incomes and gains. And the rule for the nominal account is debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Accounts covered under modern approach. Number 1, assets. Number 2, liabilities. Number 3, capital. Number 4, revenue. Number 5, expenses. Here are the rules for debit and credit by modern approach. Modern approach covers 5 heads. These are assets, liabilities, capital, revenue, and expenses. According to the modern approach, accounts are debit or credit when they are increased or decreased. So let's see all the accounts, when they increase or decrease, what effect they put on journal entries. Number one is assets. When assets are increased, it will be debited. When assets are decreased, it will be credited. Number two, liabilities. Increase in the value of liabilities, credit. Decrease in the value of liabilities, debit. Number three, capital. Increase in the value of capital, credit. Decrease in the value of capital, debit. Number four, revenue. Revenue is also known as income. Increase in the amount of revenue, credit. Decrease in the amount of revenue, debit. Number five, expenses. Increase in the amount of expenses, debit. Decrease in the amount of expenses, credit. So this is the modern approach and the rules for debit and credit by modern approach. Students, if you have read modern rules thoroughly, then you would have observed that rules for debit and credit for assets and expenses are same. That is, increase in assets and expenses are always debit, and decrease in assets and expenses are always credit. In the same way, rules for debit and credit for liabilities, capital, and revenue, that is income, are the same. It means if all the three are increasing, then they are always credited, and if all the three are decreasing, then they are always debited. Dear students, for your reference, here is the table which is given to you for the rules of debit and credit for a quick reference. It will work as a guide. It will guide you about the rules which we are going to use or apply in solving a question. Dear students, honors equity means capital. So do not confuse with the word honors equity. It is also called capital. So take this table as a reference guide. Today we are going to solve one more question of the journal. So here is the question. Journalize the following transactions. Number one, Mr. Prem started business with cash rupees 80,000 and check rupees 1,20,000. Number two, purchased goods amounting to rupees 50,000, out of which goods of rupees 10,000 were purchased on credit from Lal Singh. Third, sold goods on credit to Babu Singh, rupees 1,60,000. Number four, received check for rupees 1,59,000 from Babu Singh in full settlement of his account. Number five, paid rupees 8,000 to Lal Singh in full settlement of his rupees rupees 10,000 due to him by check. Number six, paid income tax rupees 5,000. Number seven, outstanding salary rupees 51,800. Number eight, prepaid rent rupees 1,000. Number nine, accrued commission of rupees 10,000. Number 10, goods given away as charity rupees 40,000 to socially weaker section of the society. Here is the solution for the question. Number one, first we have to draw the format of the journal, date, particular, ledger folio, debit, rupees, credit, rupees. After drawing the columns, we will start passing journal entries. Number one, Mr. Prem started business with cash rupees 80,000 and check rupees 1,20,000. So, as we all know that business and honor are two different entities. So, business is a different entity and honor is a different entity. So, both are person. Honor is natural person and business is an artificial person. Whenever we prepare accounts, it is always prepared for the business, not for the honor. So we have to apply the rules according to the business point of view. Now we will follow in this question, we will follow a modern approach. The first is cash account debit, bank account debit, to capital account. Now, cash account debit, how it is kept debited? Honor is investing money in the business. So, cash is coming in the business, or we can say that cash is increasing. So, increase in assets debit. Bank is also an asset. The check when it is given to the business, it means check is also increasing. In journal entries, we will write check as bank. So bank is also an asset. Cash and bank both are assets. So the rule applied here is increase in assets debit. So cash account debit with 80,000, bank account debit with 1,20,000 to capital account. A capital, we have a modern rule for capital also. Increase in capital is credited. So we will add both 80,000 and 1,20,000. It will be total of it is 2 lakh. So both debit and credit sides are equal. The narration is being business started with cash and check. Number 2, purchased goods amounting to rupees 50,000, out of which goods of rupees 10,000 were purchased on credit from Lal Singh. Now, in this transaction, there are both cash and credit transaction. Few of the goods were purchased by giving cash, and few of the goods were on credit. So, here we will see that purchases, it means goods, we are purchasing goods. Goods in journal entry is written as purchases when we are purchasing it. So purchases account is debit. Here the rule is applied, increase in expenses. So purchases account is debited with rupees 50,000 to cash. Cash 40,000 to Lal Singh 10,000. We made credit transaction of 10,000 with Lal Singh. Now see the rule for cash and Lal Singh. Here, cash is decreasing. When we purchase goods, we have given 40,000 cash. So cash is decreasing here. So decrease in cash is credited with 40,000 to Lal Singh account. Lal Singh is a person to whom we will pay amount in the future. So he is the creditor for the firm, and creditor is a liability. So increase in liability is credit. So the journal entry is purchases account debit 50,000 to cash account 40,000 to Lal Singh's account 10,000. Narration is being goods purchased for cash rupees 40,000 and on credit from Lal Singh for rupees 10,000. Now third transaction, goods sold on credit to Babu Singh for rupees 1,60,000. Here we have sold goods to Babu Singh, and it is clearly given in the question that goods are sold on credit. So the journal entry is Babu Singh's account debit to sales account. Now Babu Singh is a person to whom we have sold goods, but we have not taken any cash from Babu Singh. So Babu Singh will pay this cash in future. So it becomes an asset because we are getting this cash in future, and the asset is whatever we get the benefit in future. It is known as assets. So Babu Singh is a debtor for the organization, for the business. So Babu Singh is going to pay the cash in future. So he's a debtor. The rule applied here is increase in assets. Debtor is an asset, so increase in assets, debit. Babu Singh account is debit, rupees 1,60,000 to sales. Now goods, we are selling goods. Whenever the goods are sold, we will write sales account. Sales gives revenue to the organization, gives incomes to the business. So increase in revenue is credited. So the narration is being goods sold to Babu Singh on credit. Now transaction number 4. Received check for rupees 1,59,000 from Babu Singh in full settlement of his account. So the journal entry is bank account debit. We received check, so check is written as bank. So bank is increasing, bank account debit with 1,59,000. Discount allowed is debited with 1,000 to Babu Singh's account, 1,60,000. Now we will see the rules. When bank is increasing, so bank account is debit. Now here we have we were about to take 1,60,000 from Babu Singh, but now Babu Singh has paid a check of rupees 1,59,000, and in this transaction the word full settlement is used. It means here we have to give discount to the Babu Singh. So discount account is debited. It means this discount is a loss to the business. So increase in expenses or losses is debited. So discount account is debited to Babu Singh. Babu Singh is a person, or he is an asset. So decrease in assets, credit. So 1,60,000 is credited. Narration is being check received from Babu Singh in full settlement of his account. Now transaction number 5. Paid rupees 8,000 to Lal Singh in full settlement of rupees 10,000 due to him by check. Again, in this transaction, the word full settlement is used. It means there is a discount. So here we are paying Lal Singh rupees 8,000, but we had to pay rupees 10,000 to Lal Singh. So the journal entry is Lal Singh's account debit with 10,000 because we had to pay 10,000 to bank account. The amount is 8,000. The check of rupees 8,000 is given to Lal Singh. Now we had to pay 10,000. We gave 8,000. 2,000 is discount which we are going to receive. So to discount received account. Now the journal entries and the rules applied in journal entry. Lal Singh's account debit. Here Lal Singh was a liability for the business. So liability is going to be paid. So decrease in liabilities, debit. That is 10,000 to bank. Bank we have paid. So bank is decreasing to bank account, to discount received account. Now discount is credited here because we are receiving this discount, and this discount is income for the business. So increase in income or increase in revenue is credited. So in this way the journal entry is formed. 8,000 plus 2,000 equals to 10,000. So double entry concept is also clear. At 10,000, both the sides are 10,000. Narration is being check issued to Lal Singh in full settlement of his due. Next transaction is paid income tax rupees 5,000. Now income tax, like in my last class, I have already discussed this matter, that income tax is paid by the owner of the business, not by the business of the business. So when the business is paying tax, they are paying corporate taxes, they are paying different taxes, but the income tax is always concerned, or it is related to the owner of the business. So here the owner is paying income tax by the money of the business. So it will be treated as drawings. So whenever there is income tax in the question, it means drawings. It is related to the owner of the business. So the journal entry is drawings account debit to cash account, rupees 5,000, 5,000. Now rule here is applied for capital, that is decrease in capital is debited. For drawings, capital's account is rule for capital is applied. So drawings account debit to cash. Cash is decreasing, so decrease in assets credited. So drawings account debit to cash account 5,000, 5,000. Narration is being income tax paid. Next transaction is outstanding salary rupees 51,800. Outstanding word means amount due but not paid. देना है पर दिया नहीं. It means you have to pay the salary to your employees, but you did not pay the salary. So the journal entry would be salary account debit to outstanding salary. Now see what rules are going to be applied here. Salary. Salary is an expense for the business. So increase in expenses debit, that is 51,800, salary account debit with 51,800 to outstanding salaries. Outstanding salaries means it's a liabilities. So increase in liabilities credited to outstanding liability salaries account 51,800. So the narration is being salary outstanding of rupees 51,800. Number 8. Prepaid rent rupees 1,000. Now prepaid, when the word prepaid is used in any transaction, it means it is an asset for the firm. It means we have paid money in advance, but the benefit of that thing we have not taken. Like here, we have paid rent in advance, that is prepaid rent. Let's take an example. We have paid rent for the month of June, but the month is going on May. When we have paid the expense for the June, but we have not taken the benefit of the June, or we have not taken the benefit of that month, it means it is an asset. So prepaid rent is an asset. So increase in assets debit, prepaid rent account debit 1,000 to rent account. Now rent account here is an income. So increase in income or revenue is credited. The narration is being prepaid rent rupees 1,000. Next transaction is accrued commission of rupees 10,000. Accrued means due but not received. मिलना है पर मिला नहीं. Here the commission we have to receive. The work for that commission we have already executed, but we did not receive any commission for that work which we have done. So the accrued commission is an asset because the benefit of this commission or the work which we had done, we are going to get in future. So accrued commission is an asset. So increase in assets is debit 10,000 to commission. Here the commission is an income. So increase in income is credited. So accrued commission account debit to commission account 10,000, 10,000. Narration is being commission accrued rupees 10,000. And the last one is goods given away as charity rupees 40,000 to the socially weaker section of the society. Charity is a loss for the business. So increase in losses debit or increase in expenses debit. So charity account debit with 40,000 to purchases. Here we have given goods in charity. So to purchases account credited with 40,000. The narration is being goods given away as charity. So this is the completion of our question Hope you all have understood what we have done today. Dear students, this is all for the day. A request to all of you that please solve more and more questions of your textbook so that you're able to solve all those questions. And whenever you feel any query or you are not able to solve any journal entries, please do let me know. You can message me at any time, you can call me at any time. Do not hesitate to call. Please ask your doubts as much as possible so that you are able to solve all the questions in your textbook. Tomorrow we will be back with another topic. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Thank you.